1. The importance of speaking last. Have you ever thought about it? Is there power in speaking last? Why should great leaders listen before speaking? Why should you even bother about speaking last? It takes great practice and patience to really know when to stop yourself from rushing to speak. Have you ever been in a meeting where everyone can't seem to stop speaking over each other? Or have you ever listened to a podcast where in just a couple minutes it suddenly seems to go out of control? I would assume you have. And I would also assume that you're a leader. That's why you're interested in learning how to speak last. As a leader, deciding when to speak or the right time to speak up in certain situations can be challenging. As a job seeker, employee, how do you get your recruiter to listen to you, pay attention, or even remember what you said in your interview? How do you? As a leader, how do you get your employees to listen to you? As a coach, how do you get your clients to listen to you? As a speaker, how do you get your audience to listen to you? During an interview or an interviewer, how do you get your guest to listen to you? It can be more than just questions on a card, Timing. When do you say something to get the conversation back on track? Or even better, back on track where you want it. What do you say? Speaking last can be a peaceful, applicable strategy, a powerful one when asserting your dominance or your leadership in a conversation. Your leadership as a boss, your leadership as an employee, your leadership as a passenger. How do you put other people's needs above yours? I'll delve into this with a bit more fervence. I'll delve into it with a bit more of my experience. And I'll try to get you to really understand what it means to speak last. I will even talk about it from experience and about the benefits it brings to the team and the overall communication levels. One very key aspect to speaking last is that it promotes a culture of togetherness by allowing the other party, friend, family, driver, or team members to contribute properly to their ideas before sharing your own. Leaders in whatever vertical must and should ensure that everyone relevant has the opportunity to speak, to air their grievances, to bring out their opinions. When it comes to gatherings, team projects, meetings, listening can be much better than speaking. By being the last one to speak, it can make your points even more clear. By being the last one to get your point across in a meeting, or having it be the last thing said, could be the turning point in that conversation with just a few words. This is a skill, one of the most important skills. Speaking last. Firstly, speaking last allows the other party some relevant opportunity to hear what you have to say. It gives everyone the ability to contribute or feel that they have contributed properly in their own way. Secondly, you get the benefit of listening to what everyone has to say. Now, who's relevant in the conversation can change really quick. For example, the cleaner across the factory floor might have a better insight, a better idea, a better contribution, a better opinion than someone who really is removed or has been removed from the day-to-day activities of a business. A cleaner might even have a better perspective than a manager in the meeting. While you wait to hear what every other person has to say, you're taking notes, some even mentally, giving the other party, the other team member chances to better pass their points across. Or even better, growing trusted, independent leaders subconsciously. Speaking can build your team's morale. It can also devastate it if done wrongly. Speaking can build a more productive conversation, a more productive discussion. It can help reduce conflicts, but it can also bring about it. Let me give you an example. In some circles, it is common knowledge that Nelson Mandela always, or almost always, spoke last in his meetings. This is common knowledge in some circles. Speaking last doesn't necessarily mean you're not responding to questions or requested feedback. It doesn't mean not talking at all. What it does mean is that when you do talk, what you do say is backed by knowledge, by something you've heard in that conversation, not just speaking without any base to it. Why do you think we should go ahead with that discussion, you might ask? During the conversation, of course. Why do you think we should go this way and not that way? Clear questions can be useful during a debate, for everyone involved, of course. Listening and speaking last can be a better way to win a debate. Your way, rather than letting it go haywire. Clear questions can only come about if you've listened properly. Nelson Mandela was someone who learned to speak last from learning or watching young Intaba, a tribal chief who raised him. I read somewhere that young Intaba held meetings. He would gather his men in a circle and wait until everyone had spoken to speak. The journalist who worked with Mandela said that Mandela would practice this lesson in his meetings later as a leader. He wasn't one to tell people what to do, but to form a consensus. Don't enter a debate too early. Mandela would hear his colleagues' opinions and at the end summarize what was said in his own way, and then offer his, which at this point is definitely worth listening to. You wouldn't want to be stingy, do you? If you're a good last speaker, you can even convince people of your thoughts. If you're a good last speaker, you can effectively persuade them to do things you would prefer and make them think it was their own idea. You know? A sense of ownership, one could say.